All right. Okay. All right. Okay. How are we all doing? The hell is that? Interesting. All right. How we all doing? Let me get this shared over on Facebook. Share. Okay, so super duper early stream today. This is weird. Very weird. Let me check a couple things here. Just make sure we're all good. I'm gonna go over to the FBP Apparel Instagram and see if I'm live. Which actually doesn't look like I am on Instagram. Unable to connect. What the fuck? Let me try something real quick. Might not have worked. One moment, please. Let me try to reconnect on Instagram. See if it goes. Oh, still unable. What the hell? Un momento. Appreciate everybody that's stopping by. Working on getting Instagram going. And I don't really stream on Instagram too often because it's like vertical, and it's a real like pain in the ass because it literally just chops off the middle of the thing. So it's like you only see this much, which is when I'm like sharing my screen and stuff is not ideal whatsoever. Which I do a lot, but I do want to go live on Instagram, and I kind of want to try to make it a point if this thing works when I try it here, because I told people that I was going to go live with Bernie Ryder tonight, and we had to unfortunately reschedule that. So yeah, so let me see. One more try here. It might have been because I waited too long to start the stream. So let's see. If this doesn't work, we're just gonna say fuck it. And maybe. Yes. Looks like it. Oh, beautiful. It's all zoomed in and weird looking, but that's fine. That's normal. All right, now I'm gonna keep that up because I'm just going to leave that somewhere just in case anybody decides to comment on Instagram if they slide through, because I can't see the comments on the chat thing here. All right, so here's the deal. We're early tonight, and I'm just going to start it off here. We're going to share our screen, and we're going to talk about jazz. All right, look, the first thing, and hopefully I'm gonna put it in the fucking chat. Ask me. I don't know. Feel free to ask me any questions you might have. That's kind of a loaded thing. I'm gonna put that in there, and I'd love to answer some questions, like relevant questions, preferably. No, like complete bullshit, but I would love to ask or answer some different questions about like the stuff that I'm doing. Just because, I think it would be cool. But yeah, so it's a good thing I'm doing this early because I'm already tired. And I'm just looking at the Instagram stream, and it's really shitty because it's literally just like, how can I explain this? It's literally like just right here to right here on what you're seeing, so you can't even see my face or anything. So it's pretty dumb, but that's all right. I wanted to make sure that if anybody checked on there, they knew what was up, so it's fine. All right, let's dig into this here. So, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me on like anything that you see me doing or anything like that. I'd love to help. If you think this is the big one. If you're doing something or you have an idea to do something similar to what I'm doing and you have any questions, please ask me. I'd love to help. I'm all about trying to establish like good relationships and, kind of like help people get, further. I'm not saying that I'm very far along, but to where I'm at. And then, because I constantly take from people ahead of me, like knowledge, experience, and stuff like that. And we have some examples of that today. So with the things that we did today, as I mentioned, we have to reschedule our live with Bernie Writer, but I did do something kind of interesting in preparation for that. I was trying to use this ZV-1 here, this camera, to record vertically, and I think you can do it. You can do it via Streamlabs OBS, and I did a test earlier. It might still be on my Instagram story, I'm not sure, but I did a test earlier where I can stream directly to Instagram vertically, so it doesn't look like crap or anything, and like it does right now, and it was really good. So I'm happy about that. Learned something new. It's always fun to do that. Like I said, we're early today because we have to work tomorrow. We have to work at the restaurant, my grandmother's restaurant. For those of you that don't know, it's Ray's restaurant in Coriopolis, and I've been working there since I was probably 0 years old. But occasionally we work there on the weekends, and I mean, I have a bunch of different things. I could say a million things about that, but like, I do think it's important to have some sort of, instill some sort of work ethic in like your kids, and I'm appreciative that happened to me. But at this point, it's kind of annoying because I work every day. Like I do what I'm trying to do here. Podcasts, these live streams, websites, and all sorts of stuff, building all these things up. And I went through most of it yesterday. I might go through some of it today as well, but just a lot of stuff. And I have to do those types of things. It's kind of annoying because it's taking the time away from the other stuff, but it's understandable, so that's why we're a little early, and because of the rescheduling. So here we are. Okay, so actually today, like what kind of took place throughout the day was not a ton of tasks, but it was like some very integral tasks, and I have some things to show, like specifically on the screen here about what we did. So I deleted a bunch of old projects and files. So for those of you who don't know, I have this new machine over here. It has 2 terabytes of storage, and I film literally probably like I want to say like 3 to 5 hours of footage each week in 4K for these episodes. So one for AM and the PM, and one episode of AM and the PM, and one episode of Fueled by Progress. And I do that like I said, every week, and then I put all that footage on my computer. Now, for the last like month since I've had this machine, it's kind of just been like clogging up the stuff. Like it runs fine, but I mean, like I was almost out of storage already, so I had to go through and I had to delete a bunch of old stuff. And I'd like to do, I say this all the time, I'd like to do some content on specifically the way that I handle things, but I also kind of build it into these streams every day. So I have like processes for exactly how I go over it, and I reference it quite a lot. Just like, these things that I do every week with like an FPP episode. So these are all the steps that I take for this. I pick the guest, I set up the recording date, do all this stuff, and then I go through and I do all the production, and then I do the promotion, and I do that twice, like I said, for AM and the PM and Fueled by Progress. So the point that I'm making though, and how kind of like spews into what we did today, was I needed to kind of downsize some of that. I really wanted to get rid of some of those files. I wanted to clean a lot of stuff up because it was starting to get a little out of hand, and if we would just keep going, obviously it would just get shittier and shittier. So we did that. We deleted a bunch of stuff, and in the same one of the things that was holding me back, and I'm going to show you this because I'm pretty excited about this. So we're here right here. So I actually started to upload to the clips channels. And you can see it says time consuming. I'll explain all that. So let me just do an illustration of what we're at here. So this is my YouTube channel. I'm logged in here, but you'll see what I mean here. So I'm gonna turn this into like sort of an explanation of what I do, and sort of a maybe some the straight up tips for anybody that wants to do podcasts or really any content creation, but mainly podcasts in this case. Okay, so this is literally how I operate. I find people that are doing cool shit and doing like, stuff that's like better than me, like whatever I'm doing, but like doing it very well. And then I try to emulate a lot of the things that they do and put my own spin on it. That's as easy as I can get. So if you were going to make a podcast today, who would you try to do things like? Well, I would go to Joe Rogan, and let's take a look. So we're just going to turn this into a little, research session. It's not going to be boring. It's not going to be crazy long or anything. I just want to show you to illustrate what I kind of did. So he's got one channel here. You can see Powerful JRE, and we go onto his channel, and if you click on videos, let me make sure, it's not like playing any audio. Okay, so this is his main channel. He's got almost 10 mil subscribers, so that's pretty solid. But you can see what he does. He just puts the full episode, and these are like 2 hours, 3 hours, yada yada. So this is all just like full episodes. So that's kind of like all well and good. That's cool. And let's actually compare and contrast. So we'll duplicate this, and we'll use Fueled by Progress as the example, but AM and the PM's the same way. We're gonna have to flip over to AM and the PM too. So this is Fueled by Progress. We have a whopping 18 subscribers. Please go subscribe to this channel. That'd be great. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Don't forget to sub. But yeah, so this is our channel here, and if we click on videos, then we're doing the same type of thing. So we have each episode, kind of similar timeline too. I mean, not as long, but pretty close. And it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, like the quality that we're pushing out here, solid. Honestly, I'm a little biased because it's our thing that we're doing, but it's definitely more than adequate. Good equipment, good video, audio feeds, a lot of stuff. So this is where we're at here. Now, let's take it one step further, though, because a lot of people that listen to this stuff, and a lot of people that I kind of hear talking in a sense, and even like people close to me, like my dad, like he watches the stuff that I do, and he's like, well, it needs to be like shorter, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, but at the same time, though, you need to have this long form content, because if you're just trying to make short content, like it's doable, but it's more difficult. So really, this is the way that I've seen people kind of do this. So again, we have long form content. We have long form content here. Let's go back over to home, and let's click on this right here. What is this? What is JRE Clips? Well, honestly, if you've ever heard of Joe Rogan, you've probably actually been more associated with this rather than the other thing. You probably see a lot of this type of shit come up on your recommended or your home screen on YouTube, or just like if you're ever scrolling or anything like that, even social media. This is the stuff that you get because it says, well, this is an interesting one here. Tim Dillon explains QAnon, yada yada, all this different stuff. And like these titles are specific to this piece of the actual interview or the podcast with this guest. So this is the example. So Tim Dillon was the most recent guest. There's 1 clip, 2 clips, 3 clips, 4 clips, 5 clips, 6 clips, 7 clips, 8 clips, all from that episode. And you can see they're all like less than 10 minutes long. The timeline varies. I mean, honestly, there's a bunch that are like even, over 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. But the point is that they're much more digestible. Like if you don't want to watch the whole episode of whoever this Tim Dillon guy is, who I don't know, but obviously maybe you're interested in QAnon, or maybe you're interested in actor to act, how they shift from actor to activist, or whatever these other things is. That's the point of what I'm trying to make. So what we're trying to do, and what I devoted a lot of time to today was, let me show you. I didn't actually do it for Fueled by Progress, but let me show you with AM and PM. And I think I don't think AM and the PM comes up very high. So we use this as the example here. We'll get here. So we have AM and the PM, 14 subscribers. Hey, what do you know? Go subscribe to this channel too, please. Thanks. But yeah, so let's look at AM and the PM. So this is the channel for AM and the PM. And if we click on videos, you can see these are all of our episodes. Same type of thing, right? Same type of thing as JRE, same type of thing as Fueled by Progress. And you're noticing some similarities, obviously, like trying to kind of get longer form content on the podcast part, and we have the video and everything like that. So that's huge. Now let's go back to home and let's click on this channel. What is this? AM and the PM clips. Wow. This is what I did today. This is a huge portion of what I did today. So what we did was, let's jump back here for a second and click on videos. So unfortunately, I didn't have these files for some reason, but that's okay. So we had our episode with Ben and Sav, and then we had our episode with Jen and B. So I took those, it's, almost 2 hours each, went over here, and I literally took the file, I put it into DaVinci Resolve, and I did exactly what, bigger channels do, like Joe Rogan and all these other places. And I went in and I said, okay, well, let's kind of try to break up the topics that are in here. So part of Ben and Savs was like talking about how they're vegetarians and, no religion and like no traditional wedding, no religion, stuff like that. I tried to be decent with the way that I made these and everything like that. And you can honestly see that like I literally ripped off like a lot of the stuff that like kind of the way that Joe Rogan does things, and I don't see any shame in that type of thing. If stuff works for other people, I used to be really like worried about that, like not stealing people's shit, but like the ideas and like things like this, like small things like the way that thumbnails and all this different stuff looks. And now I don't give a fuck anymore, because like they weren't the first person to invent the wheel, so you shouldn't really be worried about that. But regardless of that, I think that this is a really good first start at this. Like I'm looking at this and this looks legit. Like this and this, obviously it's the same fucking color with the box and everything. Like I literally just stole that straight off there. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I would watch these. Like these look decently well done in my opinion. Obviously I did them, but that's pretty impressive in my opinion. So what does all this mean? How am I trying to tie this all together, and what are we kind of doing? Well, I want these podcasts to be worth the time and energy that I'm putting in. And I don't think that you really get that from these episodes, because what's happening here is like, yeah, you're developing an audience and you need to keep doing this, but like nobody's going to click. No, like, I don't want to say nobody, but like there's a high likelihood that somebody would click on like wedding in Disney, like a 15-minute video of wedding in Disney, or like maybe even like a little shorter on some of these, but would they click on like AM and the PM, Jen and B, for instance? Like they don't know who that is. You know what I'm saying? So unless you know AM and the PM and stuff like that, the point is there's just a lot of stuff that needs to go into this. There's a lot of work that needs to go into it. There's a lot of marketing that needs to go into it, so you get more people to like understand and know your brand and the things that you're trying to do, and what the podcast stands for and all that. And it's a lot of fucking work. Now that's not to say that you shouldn't do it. But that is one really important thing to realize about if you ever decide to do any of this stuff. Like it just takes a lot of fucking time. Like I can't tell you how much time it takes me to do all this. I did all of this. Like I made all of these videos. I made all of these clips today. I made all the videos for Fuel by Progress. And I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's definitely, I like it all, but it's definitely a lot of fucking work. So again, as I move forward, I need to try to figure out how to get other people involved with this, because I can't be doing this like for the rest of my life. But we also need to make some money. So it's just a bunch of back and forth and a bunch of different things kind of going through my head. But I'm really excited about this, truthfully, because this looks good in my opinion. Like this looks really good. I can't fret too much about like what we're, the titles and everything like that. I'm doing my best as far as that. And there's all sorts of other things like tags and things that, might help with SEO and people finding your stuff. There's a couple views on some of these here. I think I was probably most of these because I was using this as an example. But, it's kind of cool. I'm excited. Hopefully these get picked up somehow, some way, occasionally in an algorithm. People stumble upon it and kind of comes more our way. And, so these ones are effectively done as far as clips go. And then maybe a couple out of these things, probably not too much. And then Fuel by Progress. I mean, we definitely need a good bit there from, that's cool. First one, Fuel by P. So we definitely have a good bit here to get out of all this stuff. I think that there's a whole ton of good clips in here. This is the worst part of what I'm doing. I'll tell you straight up, this is the worst part of everything that I'm doing. on this one fucking page alone right here, these 7 videos, there is a fuck ton of value and content and information, and it's literally masked right now because nobody knows who these people are. That's not a dig on these people. It's just like I'm not doing a good enough job at explaining, like, and I don't know how to do it necessarily. I mean, the difference between obviously this and Joe Rogan is because a lot of those people are celebrities and people know them. So I'm not gonna like fret over that. But the point is that, you know, there's a bunch of different ways, but I don't want to do the way where it's like you put, just as an example of what I'm talking about. So let's take this one, for instance. So like FEP50, Burhan Ahmed. If there's other people that put like a whole title in here, they'll say like, oh, like, you know, this, that, and the other thing about what the episode's about with the guest. I don't want that. I want the episodes to be about the guest. And then I want the conversation to be about whatever they're passionate about. So there's a lot of things that I like maybe need to tweak or ways that I can hopefully continue to make this better. And I know that it's going to continue to get better. But I don't know. I just know that here's where I'm at. Kind of an aside, but still related. I am so extremely confident in like my success long term, and like the people that are, you know, on my team and the people around me, anybody that like, everybody, hopefully everybody that I come in contact with, hopefully we can have a ton of success. But the reason that I'm confident is because like the structure and the analytical piece of things and like the way that these are set up and everything like that, like that is what I know and love to the nth degree. The trouble that I have right now is that there's just not enough awareness. Like if I was, for instance, if I was like, you know, if I was somebody like, let's say some other celebrity or something like Joe Rogan or somebody that was well known but didn't have a podcast or whatever. Okay, just for instance, if they started one that was like Joe Rogan's or like somebody else's or like the thing that I'm trying to do, like what I could help them with, like all of this stuff would be tremendous. Like it would be as good as it could be as far as like a visual look to it, right? Like I did all this stuff basically myself here. Like I figured out all the equipment. I purchased all the equipment. The business purchased all the equipment, and then like I set it all up. I did the design of the equipment in a sense of the package and everything. How we're gonna use it all, and I'm doing all the editing and everything. I'm not boasting. What I'm saying is that I have a wide range of like knowledge in these areas, and I want to use it for me. I want to use it for the stuff that I'm doing and then pass it on to other people, right? And that's all like well and good, but it just takes so much time. So that's pretty much the theme of everything that I'm doing right now, is it just takes fucking time. But what are you gonna do? But yeah, so that we did all that today. We got those clips up there. Very excited about that. It is time consuming, but that's what we did. We had some Qdoba with our buddy Mell. He's been to Qdoba a bunch of times, but I've only been there a couple times, and it was pretty good. Random amateur food review right here. I would say quickly, lightning round. There's no cilantro in Qdoba stuff as opposed to Chipotle, which is actually kind of worse for me. I kind of actually like cilantro. A lot of people don't though. I think the bowls are a little smaller. They don't have bacon anymore, which is bullshit. Queso is pretty good. They have 2 different kinds. Flavors are pretty close to Chipotle though. Closer to Chipotle than Moe's. What other things? Chips are okay. There were some of them were really salty, but they're not really limey. Maybe a little bit of lime. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty good overall. I would go back. But yeah, I did that. And then, okay, so this is the last thing. One of the last things, unless I have something else to think about. Okay, so here's the deal. I decided that I was going to order 2 of these PopSockets. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, that's cool. So I decided that I was going to order 2 of these. I'm very happy that these came in very nice too. There's no overlap. There's no nothing. That's tremendous. So I ordered 2 of these PopSockets as like marketing, advertising thing or whatever. And I don't really know what drove me to do that actually. But regardless, I'm probably going to give at least one of them away. So I need to figure out how to do that, and hopefully we can get more subs to the YouTube channel via that giveaway. So that's exciting. I got to figure out like a good way to do that, because I want to give people like 1 or 2 things that they have to do in order to enter the giveaway, and then I want to be as fair as possible in giving it away. So that's exciting. I'm happy that those came. Happy they look good. And I don't know. I always have these, like, I just consistently have these thoughts in my head. It's like, well, if I had another day like today, should I like do more clips work than I did today and try to get that shit up, or should I? The problem right now is that I've fallen behind in a sense on these clips, and it's not the end of the world, but it's still, not the greatest thing in the world either, because like I've fallen behind on the clips, meaning for FVP specifically, kind of AM and the PM, but not as much. But like FVP, like there's at least probably like 4 or 5 videos that I need to do the clips for. So I'm gonna need some time to do that, and then I'm gonna need time, moving forward to do it as well. But I don't know. Where I was going with that is like, I should probably, I spent a lot of time yesterday making an app that's probably not going to get used. And then, I kind of just need to focus on, I guess let's just flip it back here. I think I need to pretty much need to focus on getting the website up and getting some shirts sold and other clothing. I don't know. This shit just takes a lot of time. But it's all right. We're coming along, and I'm very stoked that we started this stream so early today, so I can go to sleep early. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things in my head right now about this. Like, I kind of feel like I don't know what we're doing. I try to be like, how do I put this? I try to do some like retrospection or introspection or whatever you want, whatever the right word is, on what we're doing as we're doing it, in a sense, right? And I'm trying to think like, I say this, I've already said this in the stream, but I say it all the time. It's like, I know that we have a lot of good content, a lot of good value to provide, but we need to somehow get it in front of the right people, and we're just not doing that yet. We have all these friends and stuff like that see our shit all the time, and we don't really have like a ton of we don't have a ton of subscribers, we don't have a ton of views on the live streams and stuff like that, which is fine, obviously. I'm not trying to like fall into the numbers thing. I see people do that all the time, especially like bigger YouTubers, and stuff like that, and it's really annoying because you got to just keep fucking working. You can't really worry about that, but it is a metric, right? And I don't know. I'm putting a lot of the blame on myself right now, and I think you should always do that, just because we got to try to figure out what we're gonna do to make those next steps, and to just grow in all these different ways. So I don't know. But that's kind of it. I'm kind of tired. I want to, kind of make, I truly want to make an effort moving forward to do a couple things. Like one, like really, try to focus on like small actionable tasks. So like today, I'm very happy that I did those clips things. I mean, that's not done by any means, but I'm very happy that I took the time to do so and get that kind of going. And then, man, I just have so much shit. Like I want to get those websites done, and I have some courses and stuff. Like I could do something like that, but I don't know. We're working. I don't know. We might have to. I don't know. What we're trying to do is just take so much fucking time. Unless you get like, big quickly, but that's not even something to like really hope for in a sense. It's like, there might need to be an intermedium, and it's not going to be going back and getting a job. It'll be like maybe like focusing more on like client work that's like 1-to-1, an hour for $50 or this, that, and the other thing. So I don't know. We'll figure it out, I'm sure. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to sleep. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much. People still watch this on the replay. Thank you as well. Really appreciate that. Yeah, and we're just gonna hopefully continue put out a lot more good content and do a lot more cool stuff. Yeah. So yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys again. Really appreciate it, and I will talk to you